Say what's good, fight fans? It's D Scott. We back at it, hardcore casual MMA. Here to break down and discuss what just happened at UFC 321. Guys, I had a breakdown of the main card and my picks, but my app just wasn't computer just wasn't working right, so I wasn't able to edit it and get it out in time. So I just left it alone. But UFC 321 turned out to be a decent card and had the potential to be even better, but had an anticlimactic finish with Tom Aspinall getting eye poked by Ciryl Gane and was unable to carry on and made the fight end in a no contest. Had a couple of good finishes. Khalid had the head kick against Hasparat. Um, Chris Barnett was getting wrestled to death so much that he was running around with his cheeks out or whatnot. But yeah, the card was about a 6. I'd say a 6 out of 10. It could have potentially been an 8 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10 if this main event would have not disappointed us. But you guys know, and the question we had to ask is, fight fans are furious. They've been tweeting up a storm, making all kinds of comments about what took place, and the UFC and the public journalism and mainstream journalism is sticking to the narrative. They're not gonna go beyond that, and offer any kind of critiques, that would be opposed to popular opinion. So that's that. But a lot of UFC fans are mad. So this fight, man, it surprised a lot of us. I really wasn't surprised, but we just needed to see this fight conclude after how it started. Both of them come out, Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane in the first round. Ciryl Gane is feeling Tom Aspinall out. Tom Aspinall is feeling Ciryl Gane out. They're bouncing around the cage. Gane was looking good. I mean, he was looking great on the feet. Tom Aspinall had a couple moments. He was doing his thing a little bit, but the way the fight was looking before it ended is like Ciryl Gane was about to put some serious pressure on Tom Aspinall and be looking for a finish. His jab was on point. He was popping Tom Aspinall consistently with that jab, and the jab to the body and the straight to the body to set up those shots to the head. Tom Aspinall was also landing. He went for a takedown. Ciryl Gane defended the takedown beautifully. Beautifully. That's all I can say about that. Beautiful takedown defense. Tom Aspinall was coming in with his blitzes. He landed a couple of big shots on Ciryl Gane, and Gane took them well. They weren't super clean, 100% power shots, but they were good heavy shots. And have stumbled and taken down a lot of other fighters. Gane was using that high guard to defend himself and was defending great. By the time the stoppage happened, Tom Aspinall's nose was bloodied up, possibly broken. But man, the trajectory of the fight looked like Gane was going to win this. But this is mixed martial arts. This is the UFC. So, it's a lot of fights, tons of fights we've seen as fight fans where it starts out, one fighter's looking great, and by the time the second or third round comes, they it's a totally different fight, and they end up getting finished or they end up, losing big consecutive rounds. But this was a big deal for the sole fact that Aspinall has no experience outside of 1 or 2 rounds. I only been to the second round once in his career. Aspinall doesn't have any experience with adversity, and this is what I wanted to see. I said it in my fight breakdown. I wanted to see a good fight. I wanted to see Tom Aspinall go through some adversity for once, and this could have leveled him up even higher, and people wouldn't question these things, but I've always wanted to see this fight between Ciryl Gane and Tom Aspinall. Years ago, I wanted to see this because they're just two of the most elite heavyweights, and the way they fight and the style, they fight like smaller individuals, you know, with their striking, with their speed and the way they move. And Gane, I wouldn't say he was faster than Aspinall. He was fast, but his timing and his reach, he was using it to his advantage. And he has the reach advantage. And being a technical striker, he was using it to his advantage to get his jab off and land his strikes and stay out of danger. And also defend takedowns. I can't say it enough. But nearing the midpoint of the first round, I think Gane was moving forward. Tom Aspinall was, I believe, about to start a blitz. I think Ciryl Gane was about to throw a leg kick, and Tom Aspinall looked like he was about to counter it with a jab or 1-2 or just a right. But Ciryl Gane seen Aspinall starting his blitz, reached his left hand out to defend himself, and ended up poking Tom Aspinall in both of his eyes. Not one, but caught his fingers, caught both of his eyes, and intruded. It was a decent eye poke. I can't say it wasn't a bad eye poke. It was a significant eye poke. But as fight fans, we just know we're not in these guys' bodies. We can't say how they feel. But what the question that I'm asking, that I want you guys to answer to me, is, do you think Tom Aspinall called the fight, or said he couldn't go on because of the way that fight was going? Do you think if Aspinall would have been winning the fight and, he was on the way, looking like he was on the way to a finish, do you think that he would have called that fight and let it end up in a no contest? A lot of fight fans are pissed. A lot of fight fans are saying, that he sold, that he quit, that he was scared, or he didn't. He felt like he was gonna lose and was selling out. It's hard for me to go out on a limb and say that, but I want to know what you guys' opinion is about that, man. This was gonna be a good fight, ladies and gentlemen. It is very, very, very disappointed that it ended like this, and now we have to wait for a rematch, and that could work in either guy's favor, and just being able to look at this fight and get information from it and go to the next fight, especially on Tom Aspinall's end, because things weren't looking good for him. But I had confidence that after that first round, if it made it, that Aspinall's corner was gonna give him some good advice. He was gonna come back, and this was gonna be a lot closer fight, and it was gonna be a better fight. It's sad that it went out like this, but yeah. disappointing. So who knows when? No way, shape, or form was it intentional. Gane's hands were straight up, opposed to being like that, which the refs kind of tell them, to kind of keep their hands straight up or just make sure they keep a fist or whatnot. But it's just natural reaction. These type of eye pokes happen a lot in MMA, and it was gonna be interesting to see, um if Ciryl Gane got a point for that eye poke, because the way the refs were officiating these fights tonight, was a little more along the lines of what the actual MMA rules state. And, guys didn't get awarded a win for just being on top, and not inflicting damage. That's the Volkov versus Almeida fight, where Volkov won that fight, which he was on the bottom for a good bit of that fight, and even the co-main event with Mackenzie Dern and Jandiroba, where Mackenzie Dern won the fight and she was on the bottom, but was inflicting damage from the bottom. Which we all know, if the fight was going to be close, Mackenzie Dern was going to win it. She just has that benefit with her looks, and the UFC wants to push her, so most likely that's the way that fight was gonna go. But Tom Aspinall went to his corner, they gave him a rag, and I think without even a minute in, he was saying he couldn't see. And Daniel Cormier on the mic stated, that's not what you want to say. If you tell the refs that you can't see, then the fight, they're gonna end the fight, and it's gonna be a no contest, So Daniel Cormier pointed that out. Then he's just, I think repeatedly standing against the cage, keeping the rag up against his eye. He never really didn't seem like he ever fully took the rag off his eye to try to open it up and see, but who am I to judge? I'm not in there. I give these guys props for what they do, and being able to step in that cage in the first place and doing what they do at the highest level. So they get a fighter 5 minutes. So at about 4 minutes and I believe like 30 seconds, they called a fight. I believe the doctor came in, and Tom Aspinall basically said the words, that he couldn't continue, that he couldn't see, and the refs ended the fight. As we know, when these situations happen, the ref tries to give the fighter every opportunity. They can use all of that time via the last Kevin Holland fight against who was it? Mike Malott. Yeah. Kevin Holland versus Mike Malott. He used every bit of that 5 minutes, and even used over that 5 minutes to kind of get himself together, and before they started the fight. And Aspinall did not use all that time. The fans were very critical of this, and I want to know you guys' opinion. What do you think? Do you think Tom Aspinall sold? Do you think he could have continued? Do you think that, if the fight would have been going in his favor, he would have continued the fight? It's a good question. We got a championship title fight. He was talking big. Ciryl Gane was talking big. We wanted to see a conclusion to this fight, and it's sad we're going to have to wait for it to finish and see when they reschedule the fight. But a lot of people think that Aspinall could have continued. I'm just saying. That's what they saying. That's what the streets is talking. That's what they saying, man. Look on social media. Look all online. They saying, Tom, man, what's going on, bruh? They feel like he could have continued. Let me know what you guys think about this fight. Let me know your opinion. Leave a comment. Like if you fucking with the video. Leave me a like. Subscribe. Turn on the post notifications. I'm coming with more heat in the future. This is D Scott, Hardcore Casual MMA. I'm signing out. Peace.